they were giving mediation because we just could not find each other with the senior executive team. So, but to show that the university was still negotiating in bad faith, they did not come to the meeting. They said that they had an engagement, but even yesterday they were asked by the premier to come and try to mediate. They still did not show up, so meaning that no discussion really took place without the institution being here.
Yeah. And then to continue, Pule and Risang asked a similar question in terms of when is it in effect. From the SRC's perspective, as we are in this sitting, you may know that we have not released any further communication in terms of the line of march, which means that we have ceased. And also from the students' perspective as well, we are ceasing fire. So it is an immediate one with regards to us. But from the university as well, for us to be so, with regards to the official ceasing of the fire, it is in line with our demands, and as and when the demands are met, then we will then officially release to all the students to say that we are halting anything. But from our side, we have not mobilized at this point continuing forward. But we do wish to state that at any point where we feel the need to continue, the ground is always ready. The ground is always ready. As we've always said, students are not demoralized. Pramesh, in terms of the threats, how realistic are these demands? May I please just get a clarity? Are you speaking in terms of our demands for ceasefire or our demands for our initial demands to the university? Ule?
You asked us.
You said
the initial demands.
The initial demands, how realistic are they? So they should be realistic. First, in terms of the accommodation. The SRC has a list that has over 350 students who are homeless. Right? There is a shortfall as well from the Wits community and citizenship outreach within the university, whereby they do also have a shortfall of more than 650 students. Right? So in total, it encompasses us to students of about 1,500 who do not have a place to sleep. Right? How realistic is it for us to be asking for an additional 1,000 beds? It is quite realistic because we do have these cases on record. The university does also have the database on record. For students who have not registered, for the university to just simply say that PCD is the only one that we can speak in terms of. The PCD code is also accompanied by an RET, whereby RET, a student may have progressed to the next year of study, but with special conditions. You understand? So there's a lot of outcomes that students do receive in terms of them proceeding to different years of study or even being retained within the year of study. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we should simply take a blanket approach in terms of PCD and then we simply close it off there. Our demands are realistic in terms of students are facing real conditions and situations in terms of their academic standing and their outcomes, and we shouldn't simply say PCD. So the conversation should go beyond just saying that PCD students should be the ones that are only allowed to register at this point. Pramesh, the threats to burning down the house of the VC, and does it promote violence? Right? As student leaders, we do not take a stance firmly to say that we want to burn down the house of the VC. Right? Sometimes in a protest we do allow for the freedom of speech, and you might have seen that it is a student in general that was simply expressing themselves. Are we going to say that the student was in the wrong or take a particular stance? The student was simply exercising how they felt at that point. But as the Wits SRC, we continue to take a stance that we are going to remain as peaceful as possible to ensure that the university understands that our demands are real and the crisis on campus is real. Thank you.
About the media being barred?
Oh, yes, the media being barred. SG, please do take us through that.
Did you ask that?
Yes.
She asked that.
Risa asked.
I must take them through that. So we engaged the institution stating that they must allow freedom of expression. They must allow society to see what we are going through. So they must not hide anything from the masses of our people. So in regards to that, I think that's why you're back here right now. They did allow media back on campus so that they don't put their own and shift their own narrative according to them. So I saw there was an article, I think it was on Sunday Times or Times Live, yeah, where you guys dragged our spokesperson, and I think after that, she was just like, just come on campus, guys. So yeah, that's why you guys are here. Just to add,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think the university must also realize that media is like a fourth estate, right, if you're a media scholar. And their role is to actually ensure that there is national discourse over issues that we are facing. So what we are addressing at Wits is a national issue, and your role is very much important. And we would like the media to rally behind us in pushing this discourse, because what we are trying to solve is a national issue. Us being described as violent humans does not help the situation, and it takes away the real reason why we are here. So I think moving forward, we would like the media to also be able to push this conversation going forward as we rally all universities towards challenging this system that keeps on excluding us from getting education.
Okay, so we'll be closing the session. Did you want to be noted? Okay. Does anyone else want to be noted before we close it? It's just you. Can speak?
Firstly, I'd like to, my name is Nicole, and firstly, I'd like to apologize for raising this issue while we had closed the house. So my issue is, at the beginning of the protest, you did mention that we are doing this also for those students who are staying at residences. Personally, I stayed at a residence whereby I'm paying 77,000, right? And NSFAS kept the catered residences amount to 60,000, right? If I'm correct. So now I come from a background where I am very poor, and I'm supposed to top up that amount by 17,000, which means next year, because I'm gonna be owing more than 10,000, I'm not gonna be able to register.